It was the galactic standard year 7429 when a peculiar signal caught the attention of the Zephyrian outpost on the fringes of the Orion Arm. At first, the scientists dismissed it as background noise, but as the days passed, the signal grew stronger, more coherent. It was unlike anything they had ever encountered before. Curiosity piqued. The Zephyrians dispatched their fastest scout ship, the Starweaver, to investigate. As they approached the source of the signal, they found themselves in orbit around a small blue planet. The furthest from its star, it was a world teeming with life, its surface a patchwork of blues, greens, and swirling white clouds. Captain Zara Chen, a veteran of countless first-contact missions, felt a flutter of excitement in his translucent chest. "Scan for signs of civilization," he ordered, his melodic voice tinged with anticipation. The results came back almost immediately, and they were staggering. The planet was home to billions of sentient beings, their cities sprawling across continents, their crewed spacecraft dotting the planet's orbit. How had such a thriving civilization escaped their notice for so long? As the Starweaver descended through the atmosphere, cloaked from prying eyes, Zara Chen and his crew watched in fascination. The beings below them scurried about their lives, oblivious to the momentous event unfolding above them. They were bictal, surprisingly similar to many species the Zephyrians had encountered before, yet there was something undeniably unique about them. "Prepare for landing," Zara Chen announced. "We'll make contact with their leaders and welcome them to the galactic community." But as they touched down in a secluded area, something unexpected happened. Their arrival hadn't gone unnoticed. A group of humans, clad in uniform, approached the ship with a mix of caution and wonder. Zara Chen stepped out, his translucent form shimmering in the Earth's sunlight. "Greetings," he began, using the universal translator. "We come in peace." The response he received was not what he expected. Instead of fear or reverence, the humans' faces lit up with excitement. One of them, a woman with dark skin and bright eyes, stepped forward. "Welcome to Earth," she said, her voice steady despite the momentous occasion. "We've been waiting for you." Zara Chen blinked his large, multifaceted eyes in surprise. "You expected us." The woman, who introduced herself as Dr. Elena Chen, nodded. "We've been broadcasting messages into space for decades, hoping to make contact. When we detected your ship entering our solar system, we knew our efforts had finally paid off." As the hours passed, Zara Chen and his crew found themselves continually surprised by the humans. Their technology was primitive by Zephyrian standards, yet they had achieved so much in such a short time. Their history was fraught with conflict, yet they spoke of peace and unity. They were fragile, with lifespans barely a blink in cosmic time, yet they dreamed on a scale that rivaled the oldest races in the galaxy. Dr. Chen and her team eagerly shared their knowledge, bombarding the Zephyrians with questions about the galaxy and its inhabitants. Their thirst for knowledge seemed unquenchable, their curiosity knowing no bounds. As the Earth's sun began to set, casting a warm glow over the landscape, Zara Chen found himself reflecting on the day's events. He had come to this planet expecting to find another primitive species in need of guidance. Instead, he had encountered a race that, despite its youth, showed immense potential. "Your people are remarkable," Zara Chen admitted to Dr. Chen as they watched the stars appear in the darkening sky. "In all my years of exploration, I've never encountered a species quite like yours." Dr. Chen smiled, her eyes reflecting the starlight. "We have a saying on Earth. The journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step. Today, we've taken our first step into a larger universe. We have so much to learn, but we're ready for the challenge." As Zara Chen prepared to return to his ship, he realized that this encounter would change not just humanity, but the entire galactic community. The humans, with their boundless enthusiasm and indomitable spirit, were about to make their mark on the cosmos. "Prepare a report for the Galactic Council," Zara Chen instructed his crew as they lifted off. Tell them the humans are here." As the Starweaver rose through the atmosphere, Leaving the blue planet behind, Zolfo couldn't shake the feeling that he had just witnessed the dawn of a new era. The humans, in all their complexity and potential, were about to step onto the galactic stage, and the universe, he suspected, would never be the same again. In the decades following first contact, humanity's expansion into the cosmos occurred at a pace that astounded even the most optimistic Zephyrian observers. The revelation that they were not alone in the universe had unified Earth's nations in a way no earthly event ever could. Resources once dedicated to conflict were now poured into space exploration and colonization efforts. Commander Alexei Volkov stood at the helm of the HSS Pathfinder, humanity's first true interstellar vessel. As he gazed out at the alien star system before him, he couldn't help but feel a sense of pride. Just 50 years ago, such a sight would have been relegated to the realm of science fiction. "All systems are go, Commander," his AI assistant, ARYA, reported. "We're ready to begin our approach to Novus Prime." Novus Prime was to be humanity's first extrasolar colony, a testament to their rapid technological advancement and unwavering determination. As the Pathfinder entered orbit around the Earth-like planet, Alexei marveled at how far they had come in such a short time. On the planet's surface, Dr. Yuki Tanaka was overseeing the final preparations for the colony. As she watched the Pathfinder descend through the atmosphere, she reflected on the journey it had brought them here. The Zephyrians had been generous with their knowledge, but they had underestimated humanity's ability to adapt and innovate. What might have taken other species centuries to achieve, humans had accomplished in mere decades. They had reverse-engineered Zephyrian technology, improved upon it, and created their own unique solutions to the challenges of space travel. Dr. Tanaka, one of her assistants, called out, breaking her from her reverie. "The first wave of colonists is ready for disembarkation." As the colonists began to stream out of the Pathfinder, Yuki felt a surge of emotion. These brave souls were about to take humanity's first steps on an alien world. Among them were scientists, engineers, farmers, and families, all united in their desire to forge a new future among the stars. Meanwhile, back on Earth, the effects of humanity's cosmic endeavors were being felt in every corner of society. The influx of alien knowledge and technology had sparked a new renaissance. Medical breakthroughs were extending human lifespans, clean energy solutions were reversing centuries of environmental damage, and a new era of global cooperation was ushering in unprecedented peace and prosperity. But not all of humanity's attention was focused outward. Even as they reached for the stars, they turned their gaze inward, exploring the depths of their own oceans with the same fervor they applied to space exploration. It was in these inky depths that Dr. Maria Cortez made a discovery that would once again reshape humanity's understanding of their place in the universe. It's incredible," Maria whispered as she examined the artifact her team had recovered from an abyssal trench. The object, clearly of artificial origin, predated human civilization by tens of thousands of years. It was proof that Earth had been visited long before the Zephyrians arrived. As news of the discovery spread, it sparked a renewed interest in Earth's ancient history. Archaeologists and historians began re-examining old myths and legends, finding startling correlations with what they now knew about the galaxy and its inhabitants. Back on Novus Prime, the colony was flourishing beyond all expectations. Within a few short years, it had grown from a small outpost to a thriving city. The success of Novus Prime sparked a wave of colonization efforts. Soon, human settlements could be found on a dozen worlds, each adapting to their new environments in unique and innovative ways. On the water world of Aquarius, floating cities drifted on endless oceans. On the arid planet of Helios, vast solar farms harnessed the power of 3 suns. And on the frozen tundra of Blesius, humans built entire civilizations beneath the ice, tapping into geothermal energy to survive. But humanity's rapid expansion did not go unnoticed. In the halls of the Galactic Council, debates raged about the implications of this young, ambitious species spreading so quickly across the stars. Zar'quin, now an ambassador for Zephyrian interests, found himself once again marveling at human tenacity. "They adapt faster than any species we've encountered," he explained to the Council. "Where others see insurmountable challenges, humans see opportunities. It's as admirable as it is concerning." Some Council members viewed humanity's expansion with alarm, fearing that these newcomers might upset the delicate balance of power that had existed for millennia. Others saw potential in humanity's drive and innovation, believing that they could bring fresh perspectives to age-old problems. As the debate continued, humanity pressed on, undaunted by the political maneuverings of older, more established species. They forged trade agreements, cultural exchanges, and scientific collaborations with any alien civilization willing to engage with them. Commander Volkov, now overseeing the construction of a new space station at the edge of human-controlled space, reflected on how far they had come. "We've only just begun," he mused, watching as ships from a dozen different species docked at the station. "The galaxy is vast, and there's so much more to explore, to learn, to achieve." As humanity's influence continued to grow, ripples of change spread throughout the galactic community. The humans were here, and the universe would never be the same again. The next chapter in their cosmic journey was about to unfold, bringing with it challenges and opportunities that would test the limits of human ingenuity and determination. The Grand Chamber of the Galactic Council buzzed with tension. Representatives from hundreds of species filled the tiered seats, their attention focused on the central podium where Ambassador Elena Reyes stood. As Earth's first official representative to the Council, she faced a daunting task: defending humanity's rapid expansion and unconventional methods. "Esteemed members of the Council," Elena began, her voice steady despite the gravity of the situation. "I stand before you not to apologize for humanity's actions, but to offer an explanation and an invitation." The chamber fell silent, all eyes on the small human figure who dared to challenge millennia of galactic tradition. "In the short time since we joined the galactic community, we've been accused of being reckless, of upsetting the balance of power, of ignoring established protocols," Elena continued. "But I ask you this: is progress not built on challenging the status quo?" A murmur rippled through the audience. Some nodded in agreement, others shook their heads in disapproval. "Humanity's method of diplomacy may seem unorthodox to many of you," Elena admitted. "We don't spend centuries debating every minute detail of a treaty. We act, we adapt, we learn from our mistakes. It's messy, it's imperfect, but it's how we've survived and thrived." As Elena spoke, holographic displays flickered to life around the chamber, showcasing human achievements. Images of thriving colonies, breakthrough technologies, and successful interspecies collaborations filled the air. "We've established colonies on worlds others deemed uninhabitable," Elena pointed out. "We've developed technologies that have improved the lives of billions across multiple species. We've brokered peace between civilizations that have been at war for millennia." The Arcturian delegate, a being of pure energy contained within a crystalline structure, pulsed with skepticism. "But at what cost?" it asked. "Your methods disrupt established norms, potentially destabilizing delicate balances that have existed for eons." Elena nodded, acknowledging the concern. "Change is never easy," she conceded. "But consider this: in the face of new challenges, can old methods always suffice? The galaxy is not static, it evolves, and so must we." As the debate raged on, back on Earth, a different kind of diplomacy was unfolding. Dr. Raj Patel, head of the newly established Xenocultural Exchange Program, was hosting a delegation of young aliens from across the galaxy. "Welcome to Earth," Raj greeted the diverse group of beings. Some floated, some crawled, others walked on various numbers of appendages. "For the next Earth year, you'll live among us, learn our ways, and share your own. This is diplomacy at its most fundamental level, understanding each other." The program was just one of many initiatives humanity had launched to bridge the gap between species. They had opened their universities to alien students, established cultural centers on dozens of worlds, and even created a galactic culinary exchange that was taking the cosmos by storm. Meanwhile, in the asteroid belt of a distant system, human ingenuity was once again pushing boundaries. Captain Zara Chen of the mining vessel Rockhopper had just made a discovery that would send shockwaves through the galactic economy. "It's confirmed," Zara announced to her crew, her voice filled with excitement. "We found a vein of hyperdense neutronium. This could revolutionize starship construction." The discovery of neutronium in mineable quantities was unprecedented. Within hours, news of the find had spread across human space and beyond. The implications were enormous: lighter, faster ships, more efficient energy production, and countless other applications. But with this discovery came new challenges. Other species, some far more powerful than humanity, began to take a keen interest in human-controlled space. The delicate balance of power in the galaxy was shifting, and not everyone was happy about it. Back in the council chamber, Elena sensed the changing tide. She knew that humanity's next moves would be crucial in determining their place in the galactic community. "We stand at a crossroads," Elena addressed the council. "We can choose to view each other with suspicion, to cling to old ways in the face of new realities, or we can choose to embrace change, to work together in forging a new path forward." She paused, letting her words sink in. Humanity extends an open hand to all species. We offer our innovation, our adaptability, our unique perspective. In return, we ask for your wisdom, your experience, your cooperation. The chamber erupted in a cacophony of voices, some supportive, others critical. But Elena stood firm, a small smile playing on her lips. This was humanity at its best, challenging norms, sparking debate, pushing for progress. As the session concluded, Zar'quin approached Elena. "You've certainly stirred things up," the Zephyrian remarked. "The council hasn't seen such lively debate in centuries." Elena chuckled. "Well, we humans do have a knack for making things interesting." Zar'quin's multifaceted eyes twinkled with amusement. "Indeed you do. I suspect the galaxy will never be the same now that humans are here." As Elena left the council chamber, she knew that humanity's journey among the stars was far from over. New challenges lay ahead, new discoveries waited to be made, and new alliances were yet to be forged. But one thing was certain: humanity was here to stay, and they would leave their mark on the cosmos in ways no one could have predicted. The stage was set for the next chapter in humanity's cosmic adventure, one that would test their resolve, challenge their principles, and perhaps change the very fabric of galactic society. The humans were here, and the universe held its breath in anticipation of what would come next. The tranquility of Earth's night sky was shattered as emergency alerts blared across every communication channel. Admiral Zara Chen, head of Earth's Defense Force, stared at the holographic display with a mix of disbelief and dread. A massive fleet of unknown origin had just appeared at the edge of the solar system, bypassing all early warning systems. "Status report," Zara barked, her eyes never leaving the ominous red dots representing the approaching armada. "Admiral, we're detecting over 1,000 ships," her AI assistant reported. "Energy signatures suggest weaponry far beyond our current capabilities. They're not responding to hails." As Earth scrambled to mount a defense, similar scenes were playing out across human colonies. The unknown fleet, which they would soon learn belonged to the Novarians, a reclusive and highly advanced species from the galactic core, had launched a coordinated attack on multiple fronts. On Novus Prime, Dr. Yuki Tanaka watched in horror as the first Novarian ships entered orbit. "Evacuate the civilian population to the underground shelters," she ordered, her voice steady despite the chaos erupting around her. "And send out a distress call to all nearby systems." The Novarian attack caught the entire galactic community off guard. For millennia, they had remained isolated in their region of space, showing no interest in galactic affairs. Their sudden aggression was as unexpected as it was devastating. As reports flooded in from across human space, it became clear that this was no mere border skirmish or resource grab. The Novarians seemed intent on nothing less than the complete subjugation of humanity and its allies. In the midst of the chaos, Ambassador Elena Rodriguez found herself once again before the Galactic Council, this time pleading for aid. The Novarian threat isn't just to humanity, she argued passionately. If they succeed in conquering our systems, what's to stop them from turning on the rest of the galaxy? The council chamber erupted into heated debate. Some species, long-standing allies of humanity, immediately pledged their support. Others, still wary of human influence, hesitated. It was Zolthor who finally turned the tide. I have watched humanity grow from a single-planet species to a force that has reshaped our galaxy, the Zephyrian declared. They have shown us new ways of thinking, of innovating, of cooperation. If we abandon them now, we abandon the very principles of unity that this council was founded upon. As the council deliberated, the battle raged across human space. Despite being outgunned and outnumbered, humanity's forces fought with a tenacity that surprised even their allies. They employed unconventional tactics, using their knowledge of local space to outmaneuver the technologically superior Novarian ships. On the colony world of Helios, Captain Jamal Mkrumah led a daring counterattack. Using the system's 3 suns to mask their approach, his small fleet of fighters managed to take out a Novarian dreadnought, turning the tide of the local battle. Meanwhile, on Earth, a team led by Dr. Maria Cortez worked frantically to unlock the secrets of the ancient artifact she had discovered years ago in the ocean depths. "There's got to be something here," she muttered, poring over the strange symbols etched into its surface. "Some weakness in Novarian technology, some advantage we can use." As the days turned into weeks, the tide of battle ebbed and flowed. Humanity suffered heavy losses, with several outer colonies falling to the Novarian onslaught. But they refused to give up, each defeat only steeling their resolve. The turning point came when Dr. Cortez made a breakthrough. The ancient artifact, it turned out, contained information about an even older conflict with the Novarians. Hidden within its complex patterns was the key to disrupting Novarian shield technology. "It's not much," Maria explained to Admiral Chen, "but it might give us the edge we need." With this new information, human forces and their allies launched a coordinated counteroffensive. Ships equipped with the new disruptor technology punched holes in Novarian defenses, allowing smaller, more maneuverable craft to deal devastating blows. The battle for New Terra became the stuff of legend. Outgunned and outnumbered, a coalition fleet led by humans managed to rout a Novarian armada 3 times its size. The victory sent shockwaves through both sides of the conflict. As news of the victory spread, more species threw their support behind the human-led alliance. The Novarians, facing unexpected resistance and mounting losses, began to retreat from human space. But the war was far from over. The Novarians, though pushed back, remained a formidable threat. And questions lingered about their motives, their sudden emergence from isolation, and the true extent of their capabilities. As the dust settled on the first phase of the conflict, humanity found itself in a position few could have imagined just years earlier. They were no longer the newcomers to galactic society, but the linchpin of a growing alliance, the front line in a war that threatened the stability of the entire galaxy. Admiral Chen, looking out at the battered but unbowed Earth fleet, summed up the sentiment felt across human space. "We've weathered the first storm, but this is just the beginning. The real test lies ahead." The stage was set for a conflict that would reshape the galaxy. Humanity, tested by fire, had proven its worth. But the greatest challenges and the most profound changes were yet to come. The war with the Novarians would push humanity to its limits, forcing them to confront not just an external enemy, but their own nature and place in the cosmic order. The Sol system, cradle of humanity, had become the focal point of the galactic war. The Novarians, pushed back from the outer colonies, had concentrated their forces for a final decisive strike at the heart of human space. Earth's orbital defenses bristled with activity as a massive Allied fleet assembled to meet the impending threat. Admiral Zara Chen stood on the bridge of the HS Defiant, Earth's most advanced battleship. The holographic display before her showed the positions of thousands of ships, human, Zephyrian, Arcturian, and a dozen other species, all united against the Novarian threat. "All ships report ready, Admiral," her AI assistant announced. "The Novarian fleet will enter the system in approximately 30 minutes. Zara took a deep breath, steeling herself for what was to come. "Send the signal. Operation Thunderbolt is a go." Across the fleet, commanders relayed final orders. This battle would determine not just the fate of Earth, but the future of the galaxy itself. As the Novarian armada burst into real space at the edge of the solar system, they were met with a sight that gave even their battle-hardened commanders pause. The Allied fleet was arrayed in a complex, three-dimensional formation unlike anything seen before in galactic warfare. "Now," Zara commanded. In perfect synchronization, the Allied ships executed a maneuver that would go down in history as the Sol Gambit. The fleet seemed to dissolve, individual ships darting in seemingly random directions. To the Novarians, it appeared as if their enemies were scattering in panic. But this was no retreat. As the Novarians pressed forward, they found themselves drawn into a carefully laid trap. The Allied fleet's erratic movements were a precisely choreographed dance, designed to fragment the Novarian formation and isolate their ships. On the surface of Mars, Dr. Yuki Tanaka and her team activated the planetary defense grid, a network of powerful energy cannons reverse-engineered from the ancient artifact. Beams of searing energy lanced out, catching several Novarian dreadnoughts off guard and vaporizing them instantly. The space around Earth erupted into chaos as the two fleets clashed. Energy weapons flared, missiles streaked across the void, and fighters darted between capital ships in deadly dogfights. Aboard the Zephyrian flagship, Ambassador Zar'quin coordinated with the other alien contingents. The human strategy is unorthodox, he communicated to his allies, but effective. Trust in their plan. As the battle raged, Dr. Maria Cortez worked frantically in her lab on Luna, Earth's moon. The artifact had revealed more of its secrets, and she was certain she was on the verge of a breakthrough that could turn the tide of not just this battle, but the entire war. "It's not just a weapon," she muttered to herself, fingers flying over holographic controls. "It's a key to understanding the Novarians themselves." Back in space, the Sol Gambit was taking its toll on the Novarian fleet. Their rigid hierarchical command structure struggled to adapt to the fluid, ever-changing tactics of the Allied forces. Human ship captains, empowered to make split-second decisions, consistently outmaneuvered their Novarian counterparts. Captain Jamal Kruma, leading a squadron of fast attack craft, executed a daring raid on the Novarian flagship. "For Earth," he cried as his ships unleashed a barrage of missiles, crippling the massive vessel's propulsion systems. But the Novarians were far from defeated. As Allied losses mounted, it became clear that victory, if it came, would come at a terrible cost. Just as the battle reached its fever pitch, a transmission from Luna cut through the chaos. "This is Dr. Cortez," Maria's voice rang out across the Allied comm channels. "I've decrypted the artifact's final message. It's a shutdown code for all Novarian technology." For a moment, the bridge of the Defiant fell silent as the implications sank in. "Can you broadcast it?" Admiral Chen asked, hardly daring to hope. "Affirmative," came the reply. "Sending the signal now." What happened next would be remembered for generations to come. As the signal washed over the battlefield, Novarian ships began to power down, their weapons falling silent, their shields flickering out of existence. The Allied fleet, witnessing this miracle, pressed their advantage. Within hours, the once mighty Novarian armada was reduced to drifting hulks. As the dust settled, Admiral Chen allowed herself a small smile. "Send word to Earth and all our colonies," she ordered. "The Sol system is secure. We've won." Cheers erupted across the fleet and on planets throughout human space. Against all odds, humanity and its allies had emerged victorious. But amid the celebration, questions lingered. Why had the Novarians attacked? What was the true nature of the artifact that had saved them? And what would this victory mean for humanity's place in the galaxy? As the Allied fleet began the process of rounding up Novarian survivors and securing their derelict ships, Admiral Chen knew that the answers to these questions would shape the future of not just humanity, but the entire galactic community. The battle for Sol was over, but a new chapter in cosmic history was just beginning. Humanity had proven itself on the galactic stage, and the repercussions of this victory would echo across the stars for eons to come. In the aftermath of the battle for Sol, the galaxy found itself at a crossroads. The Novarian threat had been neutralized, but the conflict had irrevocably altered the fabric of galactic society. As the dust settled, humanity found itself at the center of a rapidly changing cosmic landscape. Ambassador Elena Reyes stood before the Galactic Council once again, but this time the atmosphere was drastically different. Gone were the skeptical glares and dismissive murmurs. In their place was a sense of respect, tinged with curiosity about what this young species would do next. Esteemed members of the Council, Elena began, her voice carrying the weight of recent events, we stand at the dawn of a new era. The Novarian conflict has shown us that our strength lies not in isolation, but in unity. As she spoke, holographic displays flickered to life, showing scenes from the war, diverse species fighting side by side, sharing knowledge, and overcoming seemingly insurmountable odds. Humanity proposes a restructuring of the Galactic Council, Elena continued. No longer can we afford to be a loose confederation of species bound by rigid protocols and ancient traditions. We must become a true galactic alliance, pooling our resources, sharing our knowledge, and facing future threats as one. The chamber buzzed with excitement and apprehension. What Elena proposed was revolutionary, challenging millennia of established order. Meanwhile, on Earth, Dr. Maria Cortez led an international team in studying the Novarian technology. The artifact that had saved them in their darkest hour was revealing more secrets, hinting at a complex history that predated even the oldest council races. It's astounding, Maria explained to a gathering of scientists from across the galaxy. The Novarians weren't always aggressors. Eons ago, they were peaceful explorers, much like humanity. Something changed them, twisted their society into what we faced. This revelation sent shockwaves through the galactic community. If a species as advanced as the Novarians could fall, could the same happen to others? The need for unity, for mutual support and understanding, became clearer than ever. In the Sol system, a massive undertaking was underway. The derelict Novarian ships, once instruments of destruction, were being repurposed. Under the guidance of Dr. Yuki Tanaka, these vast vessels were being transformed into deep space exploration ships, research stations, and the cores of new colonies. We're turning the remnants of war into the seeds of peace, Yuki announced at the christening of the first converted ship, aptly named Phoenix. These ships will carry us further into the unknown, not as conquerors, but as explorers and peacekeepers. The Phoenix's maiden voyage marked the beginning of a new age of exploration. Human-led expeditions, crewed by diverse species, pushed into uncharted regions of the galaxy. They made contact with isolated civilizations, studied cosmic phenomena, and expanded the boundaries of known space. Back on the political front, the Galactic Council was undergoing a transformation. Inspired by humanity's federal system, a new structure was taking shape. The Galactic Alliance, as it came to be known, balanced the needs of individual species with the greater good of all. Zar'quin, now serving as the first Secretary General of the Alliance, reflected on the changes. In all my years, I never imagined such rapid progress, he mused to Elena. Your species has catalyzed change on a scale I thought impossible. But with great power came great responsibility. As humanity's influence grew, so did the challenges they faced. Some species, resentful of the new order, stirred up trouble in distant sectors. The threat of rogue Novarian holdouts still loomed, and there were whispers of something stirring in the vast, unexplored regions beyond the galactic rim. Admiral Zara Chen, overseeing the newly formed Alliance Defense Force, knew that vigilance was key. Peace is not the absence of conflict, she often reminded her officers, but our ability to handle conflict constructively. As years passed, the galaxy entered a new golden age. Technological advancements, spurred by the free exchange of knowledge, improved the lives of trillions. Terraforming techniques pioneered by humans transformed barren worlds into thriving ecosystems. The collective scientific effort unlocked the secrets of dark energy, revolutionizing space travel and energy production. Yet, for all their progress, humanity never forgot the lessons of their humble beginnings. Each new achievement, each solved crisis, each peaceful first contact with a new species served as a reminder of how far they had come and how much further they could go. On the centennial anniversary of first contact, as celebrations swept across thousands of worlds, Captain Alexei Volkov, now a venerable statesman, addressed a gathering on Novus Prime, humanity's first extrasolar colony. "A century ago, we looked up at the stars and wondered if we were alone," he said, his voice carrying across the assembled crowd and to billions watching across the galaxy. "Today, we stand united with countless species, having faced trials and triumphs together. But our journey is far from over. The universe is vast, full of wonders and challenges we have yet to imagine, and we, all of us together, will face them as one." As Alexei's words echoed across the stars, they carried with them the promise of a future brighter than any single species could have achieved alone. Humanity had found its place in the cosmos, not as conquerors or subjects, but as partners in the greatest adventure of all, the eternal quest for knowledge, understanding, and progress. The humans were here, and the galaxy was all the better for it. As the celebration continued and the stars twinkled overhead, the next chapter of this cosmic saga awaited, full of endless possibilities and untold wonders.